actually?
I've been practicing all day.
Oh, I'm impressed.
We've always had, my friend and I, always a debate on how do you pronounce it. And being Midwest Americans, we take it very phonetically correct. So we kept saying Eluveitie is originally how we were saying it. So saw an interview, I was like, oh, I've been butchering it like crazy. So good to know I have it down now. So when people ask, you know, I'm good. So how you guys doing?
Well, we just had dinner, so yeah, we're doing
good. Yeah, good. So I was at your, like you were saying, I was at your Chicago show last night. Awesome, as always. Saw you guys last year, and it was just blown away. So I knew I had to go down again.
Thank you.
So making a 2-night event of it. How do you guys think it went last night?
I had fun.
Yeah. Well, because I'm curious, because I know that, you know, you're on tour with Children of Bottom, and you have a handful of, you know, shows that you guys are headlining up. Which, when did you guys decide to do that, and how did you pick the cities that you were going to do that in?
Well, I mean, usually we're not the biggest fans of days off, anyway.
Yeah.
And on this tour, I mean, it's Children of Bottom's tour, so they also kind of decide like when they want a days off.
Gotcha.
Whatever. And so when there are days off in this tour, we just play our own shows there at those days.
Oh.
Those days. And well, the routing is just kind of obvious, you know, somewhere between the cities we were playing with them. So.
Yeah. So how's the tour going so far? Is there, you know, a city that you've loved already? Like it just kind of blew you away, or is there a place you're really, really looking forward to?
I look forward to everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Simple answer.
Just to be able to play?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you have, you know, North American tour with Children. You're doing some European dates for a month. You know, some festivals in August. Anything else in the works for this year or going into next year?
Well, we're touring like crazy this year, actually.
Yeah, but I mean the whole thing is still being planned right now. So
Okay.
there's not much confirmed, but as far as it looks like at the moment, we'll basically be touring until March 2013.
Jesus.
3 months in a row. So
Yeah.
that'll keep us busy.
Well, it's because I know you were touring. You toured for a year and a half, almost 2 years, for Everything Remains. How do you find time to even write Helvetia? How do you pronounce the new album, by the way, so I don't butcher that one?
Eluveitie.
Helvetios. Yeah, how do you find time to even write that, much less record it?
Well, we do have breaks.
Yeah.
Usually like a month in between tours.
Yeah.
But it depends.
Yeah. Do you guys do you do any recording or writing while you're on the road, or do you kind of just focus on the tour and
Me personally, no, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I tried a couple of times, but I always failed miserably.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. But, I mean, you're doing stuff like on the
Well,
road.
I can, but it's for other projects.
Yeah.
It's easier because it involves programming and things like that. It's
Okay.
easier to do that when you're on the road than like write music for thousands of instruments.
Yeah, like I just found out today that you just did a side project with forgot their name. Just Torn.
Nucleus Torn.
Yes, Nucleus Torn.
I'm an official member.
You're an official member? Okay, I wasn't sure. So how did that kind of side project come to be?
Well, Freddie, the mastermind of Nucleus Torn, he did a guest appearance on our album, and so that's kind of how we got to know him. And then it just kind of happened naturally. He asked me if I'd do some vocals, and then we really hit it off and got good friends. And then I decided to. He asked me if I wanted to join.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Helvetios, that's your first concept album. What kind of drew you to the idea of doing that?
Well, I don't know exactly. It just kind of developed like in late 2010, I guess. Well, when we had the idea of like writing an album about the Gaulish War, yeah, it was just kind of obvious to make it a concept album. I think yeah, actually, our drummer, who's standing here, he actually came up with the idea to write an album about the Gaulish War. yeah, I mean, since that one was fixed, it just kind of made sense to make it a concept album.
Also, I've been listening to it pretty much non-stop for like the last week. Unbelievable, hooked me right away. I see kind of like a nice progression to it. I hear like almost elements of thrash. I think it's the hardest album that I think you guys have done. Is there anything that you guys have drawn from, like that's been out recently, or pulling up from some old school stuff?
Me personally, no, not at all.
No, just kind of naturally kind of evolution.
I think it also has a lot to do with the concept behind the album. I mean, as mentioned, it tells the story of the college wars, but we didn't just want to write the story by the lyrics, but also try to express it musically. So of course, some of the songs turn out to become quite harsh and stuff.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Kind of like a movie soundtrack.
Yeah, and that was what I was gonna actually say was, I'll let you answer that.
Hello.
Welcome back. Yeah, I was gonna say, like you were saying, it's it sounds like a soundtrack because again, it's not only your hardest, but also I think your most dynamic. For example, because you have the song like "The Siege," and then you go into Eluveitie, and then you have some instrumental pieces and some spoken word. So yeah, the images it creates have been really vivid. So, well, I know, before even Eluveitie came into existence, you were trying for a good decade to kind of get that folk, what we call folk metal now, in existence. Even back in the day, what kind of drew you to that idea of blending traditional folk with the metal sound?
I just always kind of wanted to combine it, because the way I look at those kinds of music, they're actually quite close. They almost kind of belong together. That's what I always thought. And I mean, of course, it sounds different, but still, for example, if you compare what a guitar player from a melodic death metal band is playing on his guitar, it's actually quite similar than, let's say, what an Irish folk mandolin player is playing on his mandolin. That was basically the thing. I was always playing that kind of music, or at least since quite a long time. And I always thought those two kinds of music would actually fit very well together. And I always try to combine it.
Yeah, definitely can't argue that. What do you guys, since then, in the last, since you guys been together, the folk metal scene has really come into its own, with pagan fests and all that. What's your how do you feel about that? How it's becoming, I guess, quote unquote, mainstream, in a lot of the bands that are starting to, become folk metal?
I don't care about these things.
Yeah, I think none of us really does.
No, just gonna do your own thing and everybody else worry about them?
Pretty much, yeah.
Good, refreshing. Because I was kind of, looking at your Facebook today, and I know a lot of people are always criticizing, the folk metal bands. And, it's always what happens when stuff becomes, again, use the air quotes, mainstream. But I think you guys keep it fresh. I know you have the inside joke with Merlin's calling it the new wave of folk metal. I feel like a lot of people are kind of latching onto that. So the new album comes out, next week? Good thing in Europe?
Well, actually, in a way, today.
We actually have it on sale.
Oh?
From
today.
tonight on.
Nice.
Yeah, that was just a short-term change of plans because of this tour, actually.
Yeah.
Because obviously it doesn't make much sense having us here on tour, but not having the album on sale.
Yeah.
So.
Just in Europe, or both Europe and North America?
As far as I know, only in America.
Oh wow! Awesome. I was to say, because we were gonna wait till the 28th.
Yeah, officially it's gonna be in stores.
In stores,
but people can sell it on our shows during this tour.
Oh, awesome! Hear that? Go to the show, pick it up. It's awesome.
I will be purchasing one tonight.
Well, the favorite song off the new album. I know, standard question.
I couldn't decide.
No.
I can choose one.
Excuse me. Kind of going back to your history. I know when you joined the band, you had only just started learning the hurdy-gurdy. How did you decide to bring her in when she was kind of just fresh to the hurdy-gurdy playing?
I got him so drunk when we met the first time that he just...
Yeah, that's actually kind of a true story. I was so impressed. I mean, what was your age?
I was 16.
Like this really young, tiny 16-year-old girl, and we went to an Irish pub together, and we were just like drinking. I really started to I can't remember, after a couple of pints of Guinness, I started to feel a little dizzy already, and she was like drinking all the fucking time, and I didn't notice anything in her.
So then I just
like
convinced
always,
him. You know, I can't
always
play, but
acting
I'll
like
still
completely
join. And he's like,
sober.
yeah, whatever.
Well, when a 16-year-old can drink you under the table, it's pretty
I'm not
impressive.
like that anymore.
No.
Unfortunately, I can't take it anymore.
Well,
But now I can play the hurdy-gurdy.
I know.
I can't drink anymore, but I can play the
Oh,
instruments.
well, take your pick, one or the other, I guess.
Exactly.
So, what drew you to play the hurdy-gurdy?
It's actually a German band called Faun.
Oh, yes,
And
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, they combine like electronic elements
Yep.
and folk music, which I've always personally really liked. And that's where I saw it for the first time, and I thought it was really cool. And I didn't really think about why I wanted to play it. I just wanted to
Just
try
heard
it
like
out.
that is awesome. I'm
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Chrigel? How'd you get into the whole, the folk music? What drew you to it? How do you get into it?
I have no idea.
No, just
It was just like, sorry, I even can't remember when it was, but I was like always listening to, let's say, at least old music. Like when I was younger, I preferred some kind of medieval music things and stuff. But yeah, I was just like always kind of a fan of that kind of music.
Well, in your whole, Gaulish theme, is that something that's pretty popular in Switzerland? Kind of embracing that, classic culture, or?
Not really.
Not really, no. I don't think it's more, trendy or whatever than anywhere else. So that means it's actually not.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, because there's America is such a melting pot. I still feel like a lot of us try to, reach back into our roots and really kind of latch onto it, embrace it. So, being American, it's always kind of curious to see, because it's not like that here.
But it's actually when I went to school, we didn't even learn anything about the Gauls because there's just so little information. Maybe I guess that's the reason, but we didn't learn anything. I learned everything from him.
Yeah. So speaking of, because again, Gaulish is technically, ancient civilization, kind of a dead language. How did you kind of revitalize the Gaulish language? How did you go about trying to figure out the language so you could actually sing in Gaulish?
Well, we didn't actually. It's basically science who did.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just profiting from that. Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's a dead language, but it's actually quite well. How do you say? Preserved actually.
Okay.
If it comes to the written word, to the vocabulary, and things like that, it's actually well preserved.
Okay.
But regarding the grammar, and especially, of course, the pronunciation, there's so many aspects. Science is still completely in the dark about today.
Okay.
So that's the main thing. But obviously, it is possible to write lyrics in that language and stuff like that.
Because it's a gorgeous language. That's I wish I knew how to. Because I know last year you did a little Gaulish lesson. I forget what song it was, but it was awesome. It was probably one of the most memorable moments at a concert.
Yeah.
So, for, you know, your themes and, you know, Helvetios being a concept album, are there any, like, historical texts that you've drawn from, or how'd you go about doing the research for that?
Well, this is basically just, how do you say, common and publicly accessible knowledge.
Okay.
You know, like, I mean, plus, we're always like working together with scientists as well. Regarding Helvetius, it was basically one guy from the university in Vienna. I discussed quite some things with him. You know, just to be sure that, you know, the latest knowledges of science are forming that album, that are forming the story we are telling. But yeah, I mean, basically, the things we know today about the Gaulish culture and the Gaulish wars and so on, it's just, yeah, it's just publicly accessible knowledge.
Well, I know, because I was doing tons of research, you know, I kept, you know, Wikipedia and university sites, like, I've learned more in this last, you know, few weeks about the Gaulish culture. I'm like, it's just amazing how much, like you said, stuff is out there, so I just didn't know, you know, where you're drawing it from. You know, like your music is almost like a history lesson, where you guys, not only are you creating incredible music, but you're preserving that culture and, you know, educating people, which is, I think, is pretty cool. You disagree, or?
No,
Is it kind of weird to hear?
Yeah.
Never thought of yourself as a teacher?
I'm not. I was one before I had the band.
Oh, really?
No, just for a short time.
Yeah. What do you teach?
You don't want to know. Total quality management. It's not very rock and roll.
No. Well, again, I know, usually it isn't ever. Yeah, I'm going to go into the part where I always like ending interviews with random questions, because I like to change it up, because I know you guys get asked the same questions all the time, so I'm sure it gets boring. So do you guys know who the Smurfs are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like asking this question. So, Smurfette. Is it a curiosity, creepy, or arousing?
Oh my god.
I don't really like the Smurfs, to be honest.
No?
No.
Just didn't get into it?
No,
Or
not
is it just...
at all.
I know, I was infatuated with it when I was a kid,
Yeah,
and now
me
that,
neither.
now that I, like, my sister, his wife, she is obsessed with the Smurfs,
Yeah.
so I just find it funny.
Smurf. Okay.
No answer?
Well, it has
just
part
laughter?
of my last name in it, so it must be arousing.
Nice.
I'll go with that.
There you go. A good answer. We'll end it there. Who would win in a fight? A ninja, a pirate, or a warrior?
A warrior.
Ninja.
Ninja? Why? Why ninja?
I
Or
don't like
warrior?
this whole thing about ninjas and pirates being epic. What's so epic about them? Warriors have and will always be epic. And the other two, that's just some new age weird stuff. I don't know.
Oh, I
Those
don't
new
think.
geeks.
Yeah, that there's a point. Like, I mean, I don't think ninjas are epic, but they're geeky. They're nerds in a way. But I think they can be quite dangerous nerds.
We have two on a rider.
What?
We have two ninjas on a rider, actually.
Oh, really?
But and we were always thinking, they never show up. But then again, you don't see the real ninjas, so
That's
maybe
true.
they're always
They
there.
might be here, you just
They
don't see
might
them.
be there.
It's a sign of a true ninja.
Maybe that's why we're still alive.
Could be.
Could be.
So, beer, whiskey, or liqueur?
What was that?
Liqueur, kind of like,
Oh, liquor.
yeah, like, well, kind of more like your softer, toned down liquor.
Amaretto?
Like amaretto.
Well, I'm allergic to beer, so. What was the second thing? Whiskey?
Whiskey.
Oh no. I have to go with liquor.
What's your favorite drink?
Gin tonic.
Ooh. I got wicked sick once. I can't do gin anymore. Chrigel?
I'd go for beer. If I would have to choose between the three of them, I would choose beer. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite beer?
Guinness.
Guinness, nice. So, last question. If you were a superhero, what would your superhero power be? And what would your name be?
Gaffa girl.
Was it?
Gaffa girl.
Gaffa girl? You just spit that out. You've been thinking about this, haven't
I've been
you?
thinking for a long, long time.
What's your superhero power then?
Well, I can just basically do anything with Gaffa. I'm kind of like Spider-Man, but not stupid.
Okay.
I really don't like Spider-Man. And so I just help out, bands, but also do more of the serious stuff too.
Okay.
Wherever, you can fix anything with Gaffa. So I basically just swoosh around, making things better with Gaffa.
I'm scared.
I hope nobody steals my idea. Cut that out. I want to make that comic.
I'll just blank it out. I'll just bleep it out what the name is and the appropriate parts.
Okay.
Chrigel?
I don't know. Damn it. I have no idea.
You've never thought about this?
No?
I'm a big nerd, so
Well,
I like bringing the nerd out in people.
That's cool.
well, okay, my super hero thing was provide me with the ability of becoming invisible, maybe. I don't know. That's just something I imagine to be like really cool.
What would you do with it?
Huh?
The power of invisibility, what would you do with it?
Well, see people as they really are.
Could be the fly on the wall.
Like that.
Nice.
But yeah, it's not exactly superhero like or something. I don't know.
Well, I use that term loosely.
Okay.
Just kind of superhero because nobody else can do it.
Okay.
So,
Well,
or you could be a super villain if you wanted.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. Super villain.
Anything else? You got any closing comments for our what we like to call our Cretans and Heathens out there?
Well, just thanks for the interest in our band. Used for like both bands, fret signal and us.
Oh, okay.
So there's also like fret signal people like calling that.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
No worries. What kind of tea you got?